Hello guys, if you're unfamiliar with me, I run turfmechanic.com and this channel, and today I want to talk to you about dandelions. It is literally the middle of February right now. It doesn't make sense to be talking about weeds because it's still winter. However, it only doesn't make sense because you're not a lawn care fanatic like myself. I'm like an idiot here. This is the perfect time to start talking about dandelions and how to prevent them. Are there weed preventatives? Are there weed pre-emergents for them? Let's talk about it today. Before I get deep into this, I know that subscribers to this channel already, probably just a few weeks ago, watched an entire video that I produced on preventing weeds in the lawn. If you were listening very closely to that video, you probably noticed that I didn't mention dandelions once. And that's because dandelions kind of fall into a category of their own. Even though they are a grassy weed, normal grassy weed preventators, like pendimethalin found in these Scott's products, or prodiamine found in Barricade and some other products. I'm just going to put that there because it's big and heavy. These regular grassy weed preventers, they prevent annual grassy weeds and anything really from seeding. So when you seed, whether it be lawn or, I don't know, a weed seed in the ground, once it starts germinating, the root starts going down. These grassy weed preventers prevent that weed from rooting down into the ground, and eventually it kills the plant. It doesn't take that long either. That's why people put these products down as temperatures get into that 50 to 55 degree zone, because that's when the grassy weeds start germinating. If we can prevent them from rooting down, then we don't have problems with them later on in the season. Definitely go down to the description below, click the link over that video if you have no idea what I'm talking about. That's how you prevent grassy weeds. But those are the annuals. Dandelions are a perennial. They are a grassy weed. They fall into the broadleaf weed category, but the thing is that they are not annuals. A dandelion seed that hits the ground is going to germinate just like all of the other grassy weeds, somewhere in that 50-55 degree range, or even higher than that. So when you put down products like this, or the Barricade, or dithiapir, or any of the other pre-emergents, they're going to stop those seeds from germinating. The problem is with dandelions, there are roots in the ground from living plants that germinated years ago. Those plants aren't going to be affected by these preventers. These preventers stop germination and they stop rooting. These plants, these dandelions, have already rooted. So when it comes to a weed preventer or a weed pre-emergent, these will stop these will stop the seeds from germinating, but everything else that's already there, it's not going to stop. They need something post-emergent. There's a reason why the vast majority of people dealing with dandelions deal with them in a post-emergent scenario, because we see weeds, we see dandelions that have been growing for a while. Those dandelions that lived last year and are starting to grow this year, they actually start putting foliage on closer to 45 degree soil temperatures, so before seeds start germinating. So even if you're putting this down, you're actually going to be seeing dandelions starting to come up because they germinate, or they didn't germinate, they started growing earlier in the season than anything else. If you look around your neighborhood or around your town, the very first dandelions that you see, I can guarantee you that those dandelions are the ones that lived last year, because those are the ones that are putting on foliage and flowers before anything else. Now, if you're going to prevent those, there's really not a lot of options. Regular preventers don't touch the things that have already germinated years ago. And by years ago, dandelions can live 10, 12, 13 years in ideal situations. In a regular lawn where we're trampling on them, trying to kill them, they might not last anywhere close to that long. But hey, 5, 6, 7 years, that's not unheard of. In a regular lawn, these things establish and they root down. I mean, their roots can go 3 feet deep. So they're going to tolerate frost. They're going to tolerate cold. They're going to live through the winter. They're going to live through drought and excessive heat. They're going to do better than your grass, because the grass simply doesn't root down so deep. To kill them off, you have to kill them into the root. And that's why most people use products like Weed Be Gone. Weed Be Gone uses a handful of chemicals in there. Uh, let's see, we've got quinclorac, 2,4-D, dicamba, all of these things, especially 2,4-D and dicamba. You see that stuff in over-the-counter weed killers all the time. They kill dandelions very efficiently. You spray it on the leaf absorbs it, it sends it down into the root, and the whole plant dies. Now, when you kill a plant, it can't make more seeds anymore. So if you're just killing a plant with a post-emergent product like this, over time, the seeds that are in the ground are going to germinate and you're going to kill them. Eventually, there's not going to be any seeds left. The seed for dandelion is robust. It can last for a long time. It's got a half-life of about 3 months, but every like puffball that you see on a dandelion can make like 200 seeds. So every single puffball after the course of a year, if it's making 200 seeds, it could have 25 viable seeds left after the end of a year. It usually takes 2 to 3 years for the vast majority of seeds to be completely inert. And considering the fact that some people have thousands of puffballs on their lawn, it can take a few years to get rid of the problem simply by waiting for them to come up and kill them when they come up. So that's where pre-emergents come in. Now, these things are going to stop the seeds from germinating. It's starting to drizzle here. I'm going to put this under the table. 2,4-D products are going to stop those seeds from germinating. So we're putting that stuff down anyway to prevent crabgrass and other annual grassy weeds. Another product that's out there, there's a couple other products that put dandelion on the label. There's Gallery, which uses the isoxaben active ingredient. That's basically going to stop the seeding as well. Tenacity is a specialty herbicide. It can be used as a pre-emergent and a post-emergent. Pre-emergents tend to go into the soil and they stop rooting. Post-emergents tend to go onto the plant itself, like the exterior of the plant. So like a foliar application, and it usually stops things. In the case of dandelions, it's an HPPD inhibitor, which basically means it stops enzymes that are in the plant from breaking down amino acids. Now, the amino acids is basically, let's call it food for the plant. It's what that plant uses to grow. So if it can't break down the amino acids, it's like if your stomach just stopped being able to digest food. You might have food in you, but if you can't digest it, you're going to wither away and eventually die. And that's what happens to the plant. It can't break down these amino acids and it slowly dies off. So tenacity can work but it working as a post-emergent, similar to spraying it down with Weed Be Gone or some other 2,4-D product. Another option for a post-emergent is the organic route. This is Weed Warrior, not that the brand name means anything, but it's like an herbicidal soap. It will go on kind of like a glyphosate and just kill everything. Like it breaks down like the waxy surface and dehydrates the plant and everything just dies off. Glyphosate is going to work stronger and faster and longer than something like this, but this is organic. It's not a chemical. So I'm going to be experimenting with this spring. If you're unfamiliar, Sunday is a subscription lawn care service. So they just send you stuff in the mail timely, like when you're supposed to use it. I don't use it religiously, but I do subscribe to it because I need to be informed. Point being is there's plenty of ways to kill this stuff off post-emergent, in a post-emergent style. In terms of pre-emergent like things, Defender is another option. They use an active ingredient called fluorosulam. I never call it that. I don't know how it's pronounced. It's just called Defender in my mind. Defender is a product that you can put down on the ground. It's pretty much the only product that you can put down on the ground that's going to act similar to a pre-emergent to existing dandelions. So you've got Prodiamine from the Barricade product. That's going to stop seeds from germinating or rooting. If you put down Defender, that's going to stop the existing dandelions that are currently in the soil, stuff that lived like last year. It's going to prevent the weed from coming. It's not going to prevent it from coming up and making foliage. It's going to prevent the weed from coming up and making flowers and seed heads. So If you're going to put that down, it's going to slow the growth or slow the development of new seeds that are going to hit the lawn. But it's going to be harder to see the weed, because lots of times we see the flower and then we say, oh, there's a dandelion, I'm going to go spray it down and kill it. If you can't see the thing, then you're unlikely to kill it, and the defender is not going to kill the plant. So even though it's going to stop the plant from sending up big flowers and puffballs and seed heads, you're not killing the plant. So is it really doing anything? In my opinion, it's delaying the process. So if you want to prevent dandelions, you want to prevent the whole plant. That's how I see it. So that's how I see it. Defender is going to stop those little puffballs. It's going to stop the seeding for next year. It might slow down. It might be another tool in the shed that you could use in addition to preventing rooting and in addition to killing it off. But it's not going to kill it off. It's just an extra tool to slow it down. So all of this is to say, there really isn't a good pre-emergent for dandelions. There just isn't. You can stop the seeding, you can stop the flowers, or you can kill it, but there's not really one product that's just going to do it all. Now, there are best times of the year to spray the dandelion to kill it. I have an entire video on that. Please go down in the description to look at that, because that is a completely different topic from this video today. Make sure to watch that. There are best times of the year to kill these dandelions, and then there are different times of the year to prevent the seeding of the dandelions, and there are different times of the year to prevent new foliage from growing or the flowers from growing. They're all at different times of the year. This is what makes dandelions such a complicated weed to deal with in the lawn. It's usually a weed that can be eradicated from a lawn, but it usually takes a couple seasons to really get it gone. So taking a multi-step approach can help. I am a big fan of doing things a more natural way. When I go out with a lawnmower, I always go out and I pluck off seed heads and flower heads of weeds that I don't want, so that the seed doesn't go down. You can do that throughout the year, every single time you grab the lawnmower. I'm a big fan of using organic products. So if I'm going to kill a product, I'm going to kill it with this. Although if it's in the lawn, this is going to kill, because it's an herbicidal soak, it's going to kill everything. So it'll kill my lawn as well. So this is the kind of stuff I'll use near the fringe, like exterior areas of my property. If you're going to kill an actual dandelion, just grab a 2,4-D product and spray it down. They don't cost very much, and they're probably sold at your local supermarket. I completely understand the desire to put less chemicals in the lawn. When you're dealing with dandelions, you kind of got to think, I'm going to put some chemicals in the lawn now, get everything killed, and then in years forward, I'm not going to really have to put anything down, because I've already dealt with the situation. So if you really go into it gangbusters and try to eliminate the problem right from the beginning, right from the start, just all at once, then all years beyond that are a lot more organic and a lot more safe and natural. It is literally starting to rain on me right now, so I gotta wrap this video up here. I got my notes. Go down in the description, take a look at the best time of the year or best time of the day to spray down the dandelions to kill them, and definitely make sure to watch my weed pre-emergent video to prevent all of the weeds, because there's a lot of extra information. Killing and preventing weeds is a complicated topic. That's why every single video you find on these things, every single article you find on these things, there are complicated chemical names and they're all long. It's so hard to make this a short, simple answer. Anyway, I hope this was helpful anyway. I know it's long, I know it's kind of dry. It is literally just killing weeds and preventing them. Please hit that like button if you found it helpful. I sure hope it was helpful. And I hope to see you in another video down the road.